two of the most common mistakes I see repeated over and over and over right off the bat is, first off, believing you have to have super deep pockets and countless sprawling acres for habitat improvement to make any sense whatsoever. That is the biggest myth in the world. Congratulations if you got that. If you do, guess what? You already got really good hunting. Will that type of stuff help? Sure, it'll help a little bit, but man, you already got really good hunting. Where this stuff really plays big is for that small landowner that has such a small margin for error. Okay, the other myth is actually, or the other mistake I should say that I see made over and over again is it is awesome that somebody wants to improve the habitat. It is. Since we're talking about myths, one of the biggest ones is that we're doing this just to kill stuff. Heck no. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but you all realize this. We're doing it a lot. We're doing it for all sorts of reasons, but most of us are doing it because, man, can you come up with a much better passion than going ahead and making this rock a better place for us all to rent, including the wildlife? You know, and I'm not talking just whitetails. Habitat improvement helps all sorts of songbirds, all sorts of small game, all sorts of wildlife out there. When it's well done, the difference you make is pretty darn incredible. But getting back to the point, that is, you know what? It's awesome that you're all fired up about doing this, but do not just go and grab a bag of seeds and go head somewhere and plant it. Take a time out first and ask yourself, what are my goals? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? If you're trying to just simply make your habitat better for wildlife, yeah, hey, go back to that back corner. Go to every corner you can and improve it. If it's for hunting, before you go ahead and create that food plot, you need to ask yourself, how am I going to get to that food plot to hunt if I ever want to hunt it? What stand sites on that food plot will work? Now, what's the safe wind direction? How can I get out? You determine all of that before you ever even think about breaking ground. Okay, how do you determine all that stuff? Well, first you learn how the whitetails are currently utilizing your habitat. What does that habitat have to offer them? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? How do they line up with my goals? So, what is the best way for me to achieve my goal? To go ahead and address my worst factors, my most negative factors impacting that goal first. Okay, while we're at it, if we can go ahead and put our strengths on steroids, awesome. So if you want to improve the hunting, what's a great way to improve the hunting? Improve the deer numbers on the ground, decrease the caution level that they display while moving on your ground, and maybe even every once in a while getting a shot opportunity or two. For somebody with 20 acres, that's a big deal. For a lot of people with 20 acres, that's a big deal. A lot of people with 40, 60, 80. You know, these regular sized properties, they are not all created equal, and they surely don't all hunt well. A whole bunch of them don't hunt well at all, but luckily, if we can go ahead and identify how the whitetails are utilizing our property, identify how our topography, how they're utilizing the topography, what habitat features are off the charts. For example, we may have outstanding levels of browse in the woods, but no candy crops out in the open ground, or way more commonly, we got all sorts of food out in the open grounds, but in those woods, you can literally see for 300 yards in one direction, and you're sitting there thinking of how beautiful that woods is, and it is beautiful to us, but it sure ain't beautiful to deer. Wildlife don't like that. Wildlife don't like that at all. You don't want to be able to see 300 yards out there. That means there's virtually no food in the understory. That means that the social pressure is going to be so much higher. What you do is you figure out what your goals are, what you got to work with. When it comes to where to put food plots and stands, you figure that out first before you do any darn other thing else. How do you figure that out? If you want it to be low impact, you ID all the spots on that property you can get to and get out of without busting deer. Then, which of those areas are they actually feeding in at all? Those are the best ones to put the food plots in, but pick that stand first and build your stuff around that stand site. Address your needs, your wants, and your goals, and good things happen. But plan it first, because this type of stuff almost never happens by accident. And it's, you know what? Cookie cutters are great for making Christmas cookies, but they absolutely stink for getting the most out of your property. You want to get the most out of your property, you cater your plan to that property.
Final thoughts. Brought to you by Huntworth.
It is awesome when people want to start improving their habitat. One of the biggest mistakes you can make, though, is to unless it's just simply to improve it for wildlife, and if it is, more power to you, my friend. Sincerely, more power to you. If hunting also has a factor in all of this, well, go ahead and plan that food plot before you ever break ground. Figure out how you're going to get to that stand. What is my stand with a safe wind direction? How can I get in and out? Then build around that. Take what the whitetails are already doing that meets your goals and put it on steroids as much as you can. It's always easier to get the deer to do something they've already been doing more than get them to do something they haven't ever done before, or get them to stop doing something. But put that planning in up front, learn that property, come up with a plan, and then go out and improve your property, and the hunting will be so much vastly better benefited than just simply grabbing that bag of seeds and going heading for the corner.